Let's bring up now our second presenting founder today. We have representing Genomic Expression, Gerda Petersen. She is the CEO and co-founder, and delighted to have you with us today. Gerda, whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we could potentially screen 20% of the world's population in one day. We've been doing RNA sequencing for more than 5 years, focusing on oncology, making RNA sequencing possible in real clinical samples, which are very challenging. And there's a couple of components to that, including a very large database over all actionable RNAs, which enables us to generate an actionable report for the doctor. We are changing the current standard of care where we're reducing cancer to one disease, one marker, one drug, which in early stage cancers work in 50% of the patients, later stage in 20%. And this is the poster child of personalized medicine. That's why we call it truly individualized medicine, where we look at one patient, multiple markers, and multiple treatment options in a much more dynamic model. Now, compared to DNA panels, we can predict response to immunotherapy, chemotherapy, and targeted therapy, whereas DNA panels can only produce actionable results mostly for targeted therapy. Covid19 is an RNA virus, and when the epidemic hit, we turned around and very quickly validated in 2 weeks PCR assay securing supply chain under the FDA EUA and filed it. We moved it into saliva so we can expand and do self-collection. And then we quickly realized that the current PCR platform hadn't been changed a lot for several decades. It's chunky, takes time, more than an hour per, and you can only run about 100 per run. This is the biggest machine. It's about 700K. It can produce 400 tests in 8 hours. We calculated, based on our one RNA chemistry, that we can produce 500,000 tests on the next week. That costs for 250K. To produce the same output on the PCR platform, we will have to spend 300 million. This is a technology we're in the semifinals of the X Prize with. There's 3 pieces to it: a novel viral capture probe, and then ways to detect it using our chemistry on next-gen sequencing. But we can also improve sensitivity on PCR, enable pooling, and do point of care. We want to make access to this test as easy as shopping on Amazon, and have built a back-end informatics that are HIPAA, GDPR, and CLIA compliant. We track everything, shipping and the data in and out of the lab. In order to commercialize this, we obviously can quickly launch in a CLIA lab in the US, very short timeline by filing our own another FDA EUA. But we really want to enable all labs with a sequencing machine to perform this test. So we need to file as a test manufacturer and then close an OEM and distribution deal. We believe that is probably going to be one entity. We have signed NDAs with 3 of the largest, and we are already in conversations. And finally, we need to get the test reimbursed. There remains a very significant gap between the supply of COVID test and the need. We stipulating a scenario where we can bring the cost of performing this test down to $5 per sample. With 20 million tests per month, that is $100 million per month. We will capture in a licensing deal potentially 10% of that. Amazing management team. My co-founder is my younger brother with a PhD in genetics. I come from a big biotech in Denmark, Novo Nordisk. Brought in Jesper Zeuthen, who's been working on curing cancer his whole life. and Bill Southworth to build the back-end informatics, and Georgie Abel is running our CLIA lab in Boston. We won a very long list of competitions and awards. The last one is that we are in the semifinals of the X Prize with this chemistry. We innovate outside the lab too. We have a significant social media footprint. Please follow me on Twitter and feel free to contact me using my email. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Gitte. Excellent presentations and best wishes for Genomic Expression.